Hey there, it's Blair here, and today we're going to take a look at the different types of content that are native to social media. We're going to look at the most popular social media platforms and look at the characteristics of the content when you're approaching them going, okay, what should we do? I'm going to walk through a number of examples in 10 minutes. It's going to be quick, it's going to be interesting, and we're going to look at the examples from the easiest to produce to the more challenging, and at the same time, the ones that tend to be the ones that require less resources to the ones that require more resources. So, let's get started. The first one is a simple link post with a single image that links to somewhere else. In this case, we've got this example of Twitter that links with a little bit of copy and a link back to another article. You can do the same sort of thing on Facebook or on LinkedIn or on Pinterest. And the goal with this kind of post is to get the reader to link back to view the content in addition to potentially sharing it to amplify that message. The next type of post is a simple single image post or a visual post or something that is meant and created natively for the platform. It doesn't link elsewhere. That's the key. So in this case, we've got an example of a poll in Twitter. There's no link elsewhere, but it's meant to interact and engage with people on Twitter with a simple little survey that uses things that are very native to the platform. In this case, you've got emojis as well as hashtags. And you can do this type of post on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or Twitter. And these are the types of things where maybe you're going to ask a question or do a poll, like in this example. Maybe you're doing something to celebrate a holiday or a special occasion. You're going to share a GIF, whatever you want to call it, or a meme. And this is just the stuff that you want viewers to share or comment on and just stay interactive and engaged on the specific platform. Here's another example of an image post for a brand in Australia. And what you see here is using Facebook to tell a simple story. In this case, it uses a number of words and a really nice visual. And it's a story that works within the context of Facebook. We're not seeing hashtags here. We're not seeing many emojis. But it keeps the audience who's interested in MJ Bale interested on the Facebook platform. Next up is a multi-image post. And these types of things usually require multiples of images, perhaps videos. And this is more pre-produced. It takes some time to think about, so we're starting to get a little bit more difficult here. In this example here, we've got Instagram, and it's called a carousel. And we're looking at Harley Davidson, Australia. And a carousel is a series of images. It might also include video, depending on what creative you've got. And the user has to interact with it to make it move. So they need to actually click through that image. So it's a series of different things that go into making the story. Similar, there's another one called a slideshow. And this is specific to Facebook. And what you see here in this example with Stance socks is it's like a short video. They're using a bunch of still images, but it runs automatically. The user does not have to interact with it like they do with a carousel. In this case, this also might include some audio to go along with the video. And then next we get into a social video post. So this is meant as a video. This can be a square video, a vertical video. It's created specifically for the platform. And they tend to be at least 15 seconds to up to a minute or so. So if we look here at some examples, this is an example of one for Perrier, a 15-second simple video produced with more space for Perrier. I'm going to quickly flip through here. One of the keys to video on social media is telling the story for the audience, whether they're listening or not. So this is a great example here of a video on Twitter from KLM Airlines, where they're telling the story of how an airplane flies. I'm interested in it. I'm a little bit of an airplane nerd. This caught my attention. And what you see here is there's audio to this, but they're also using video as well as graphics and word overlays to tell the story. So this is a really smart video that clearly explains in just over a minute how an aircraft steers. I learned about it and it caught my eye. And similarly in Instagram, another example of a video here for Volvo. In this case, it's a square video, and there's a small amount of interaction here where you're using the native function of Instagram to tap on the photo, and it's getting you to engage with it, and you're seeing a video that works with and without sound with the word overlays. So that's an important part of social video. Next up, it's another type of video format, and this is specific to Facebook right now, and it's called 360 video. This takes a little bit more production than the normal video that we've seen, and what you see here with this Facebook example in Grand Central Station is we start to see more of a 360-degree view. It's not just a straight-up video where you're looking at it head-on. You can tilt up and down and look around and really immerse yourself in a deeper experience. Now, this definitely does take more production. It takes a different type of camera technology, but you can actually bring a little bit more to life with a 360-degree video. So we're getting into the more complicated stuff now. Next up is a multimedia type of post that can mix up visuals, videos, words, and overlays. And one of the best examples here is something called a Facebook canvas. So we look at this example with Lowe's on the right, and this canvas moves, it has a number of different scenes, and it moves left, right, up and down. There are buttons and links to click on if you want to look at these products. And you can embed videos in here, you can have overlays. So this is called a Facebook canvas, and it's a full screen, more vertical experience that is meant to be more immersive and definitely more mobile first. The idea of it is it takes up the full screen in an interactive way. Again, clearly here, this takes a bit more to produce. You need to think about a storyboard. You need to think about all the different shots that you're going to do and how it all weaves together. And next up, we're getting into the stuff that tends to be a little bit more real time. We've got stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories. This is where Snapchat comes in. And this is real time content that lives for 48 hours. In some cases, it's more produced. In some cases, it's more on the fly. But the key here is that it's very perishable. So this is where you can give a behind-the-scenes look of what's happening with your brand right now. You can bring it to life with a more personal perspective on what's happening with your brand in this very native mobile experience. Again, this is produced for mobile. It's a vertical format versus a square or a horizontal, which you can use across different types of platforms. And now we're getting more real time. So the next example is with Xbox on Twitter, and this is what I call an in-moment post. This is real-time content. This is customer service and Q&A. It's a Twitter tweet. Like you see here with Xbox, they're really renowned for their customer support, Facebook Messenger, or other types of direct messages. This is live interaction and response. It probably doesn't need a link to other content, but what it is, it's the brand being present in the moment for their audience. It means that it's not just producing content and scheduling it and it goes when you want. This is being there to engage on a more 24/7, 365 basis, which obviously takes different planning, different resources, and a different social commitment. And then the last one is a live video. So here we look at Facebook Live. Unfortunately, I can't click through to a live example, But what you have is you can broadcast. It's like the next level of a Facebook story where you're putting your brand live in that moment, and you're able to interact with the audience. The audience can either like or share or comment, and you can ask questions. So this is where you want to have those real-time conversations of a hosted discussion. We've got Facebook Live, you've got Periscope, which is a Twitter product. The key with live is you ideally need your audience to be there real time with you. So you need to promote it ahead of time if someone's going to be interested in asking the question or engaging. Now with the live video, you can always finish it and save it so someone can view it later, but it's not the same thing. It needs to have the promotion, it needs to have the live interaction with it. So those are the main types of social media content, from the pre-produced stuff that is a simple image and may or may not link elsewhere, to the multimedia and live response, which takes more time, more dedication, more putting your brand out there in real time. And there's no one right or wrong, but what you need to do is figure out that right mix of content types for your brand, and based on the different platforms, because these content types are not universal to the platforms. You need to understand how to use each platform. So I hope that helps you understand the 8 core types of content to think about when you're producing for social media.